Whoever worked him, he had to have played football before. Such a
Why?
big dude.
Oh.
He's just big dude, and like he just went with his elbow on my quad and on my calf, and I'm like,
dude. Tina has been having some like quad issues. You've probably seen her, and I told her I was like, "Hey, it never fails." I was like, "Hey, take a 70-pound kettlebell and
yeah, I
just
saw her. She was
push it."
so much pain.
Oh, it's the worst, but
I
it
know. I
helps
don't
a
have the
ton.
guts to do it.
I mean, have you seen the Chinese weightlifters?
Hmm.
They'll stand on each other.
Yeah, I'd rather have somebody stand on me than this amount of metal.
Absolutely not. I will
I've
take
stood on people before.
If somebody the thing is, if somebody stands on me, I'm gonna strike them
You can't.
in self-defense
That's the beauty of it.
because it hurts so bad.
You're pinned under.
How is your knee feeling?
Good. After I went to chiropractor and they usually needle it, but today that guy, I've never worked with him before. He has a team. It doesn't always be the same. And he did a good job of like going deep and like like the tendon on top of the kneecap.
Yes.
He like went with his finger did some weird pressuring stuff there. I'm like, okay, and then he made me he cupped and then made me flex my quad while I'm cupping multiple reps, and it started feeling better.
Nice.
But the more concerning issue was the calf that I popped on Tuesday.
Say, how is your calf feeling? That was my follow-up question.
Oh, sorry, my calf. He also worked on it, and he said that it's most probably the soleus, and ideally not the ligament, but there could be like a grade 1 ligament tear. But I was able to like jog in place after. So Texas City Triathlon, here we come.
Is that the one in like Lago Mar? Is that what
I don't know. It's in Texas City. I don't know where Texas City is.
It's south of where I live.
All I know is Texas is a state, so I don't know where the city is.
Genius, Mahmood.
Oh yeah, it's in the it's in the beach.
Yeah,
it's in the bay.
Oh, okay. I went.
Lago Mar is on 45. That's what you're talking about, the artificial lake.
Yeah.
No, I wish I'd swim in that water.
Oh yeah, nice.
Filthy water.
Yeah. If you're swimming in the bay.
Yeah, tough. I've done one before in the bay. It was not great.
No, water is.
The problem is like I've done 5 maybe sprint triathlons. It's never the fact that I can't swim longer. It's I don't know where I'm going, even though I have goggles, and I can't see the person in front of me or the person behind me. So like I'm getting hit and I'm hitting people.
Right.
And like you just keep stopping, and then you stop enough in swimming, you're not gonna gain speed.
Right.
Doesn't matter what pace you practice that. It's just like it's not gonna happen. Buddy, what's up? Can you leave my leg? Okay, sorry. My dog is just like all acting cute on my leg.
That's okay. Yeah. I have a dog story for you. This will be great for people who watch this. So I let Ringo out this morning.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit more rushed than normal because I had a dentist appointment this morning to get my teeth cleaned, which was
I'm proud of you.
Oh my God. I love it. Getting your teeth cleaned is the best feeling. Anyways. So I let Ringo out.
Sorry to interrupt. Is that acceptable size?
That's an acceptable mug. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So I let Ringo out. I'm like making breakfast for Courtney and I because she's got to leave for work, around the same time. I let Ringo in, and he's like walking weird. I'm like, oh my God, here we go. Bro, like hurt his back again first thing in the morning, whatever. Did something crazy. And I'm like, Court, can you come out here and like see what's up? Like, I'm trying to not burn our eggs, whatever. And so she comes out of the bedroom and she's like, Ringo, come here. And he like kind of walks over there to her and then just sits down and scooches his ass across the wood floor because he apparently felt like he still had some poop left, which was why he was walking weird. And I was like, dude, what are you doing?
And he did not.
Nothing
smeared against the wood?
No, poop did.
Oh, poop did. Okay.
Yeah, straight up smeared poop across our floor in our living room. And I was like, what what is wrong with you? And then he was like, oh yeah, I'm actually totally fine. I just, I felt like I still had to go, Dad. Sorry. It's like,
So
you heathen.
similar story there. Yesterday, my dog is standing like right across from me here. I'm working, he's staring at me, and then all of a sudden I hear a fart. I was like,
Ooh.
"You're an idiot," and I was just like, and then he walks away, and then
Charted on the ground, didn't he?
I walked around like splatter. I was like, "What the hell's wrong with you?"
He's never done that, but I've seen dogs do that. So
My older dog, when I used to live in a house with two other roommates, and apparently she did that on a wall. She just
yeah.
went against the wall and just on the staircase.
Dogs
I'm
are
like,
man's best friend, but they will remind you every now and then that they are in fact wild animals.
yes.
Like they're mostly domesticated, but they're still an animal.
I won't leave you a full poop, but I will shart on your floor.
Yeah, it's just part of it. Anyways.
Yeah.
All right. So, topic of the day. Things we wish we would have known or things we would do differently, things we've changed our mind on. So, we've both been coaching CrossFit for a while now and coaching competitive CrossFitters for a while. We've learned some things along the way. A lot of trial and error, a lot of just part of the learning curve of coaching and program design. And I thought it'd be fun for us to kind of discuss some things we have learned, things we no longer believe in, just kind of see where that takes us. Good afternoon, Jeffrey. Thank you for being here, my man.
Hi, Jeff.
So you go first. What is something you would have went back and changed, something you don't do anymore that you used to do, or just like an opinion that has changed? Really open ended.
First and foremost, I would not rely on Connor being on a podcast. For those of you who don't know, Connor was supposed to be here, and he said, "Oh, let's make it 11," conflicting with my appointment, and we were trying to bend over backwards to make sure he's in. And then yesterday, Tris was like, "He's not going to be there."
Yep.
So, okay, so Connor is out.
All right, so I'll clip that at the 7:30 mark, and we'll put that on Instagram.
No more creatine for him. And then, realistically or seriously speaking, the first thing that pops to mind is this is gonna probably, because we both actually agreed on that, so it might cause a disagreement. For the majority of people, for 99% of people who are attempting to be competitive at CrossFit, the opinion of, oh, you need to get stronger, you need to stop CrossFit for a year and then come back to it, is usually not applicable. It is very rare that you need to do that, and it has to be a complete deficit that you're actually, one, have time on your side, as in you're really young, right? Because if you do that when you're like 32, chances are, one, you're not going to get that much stronger. Yeah. And then two, you're going to have a very hard time coming back into it. Yeah. And then two, that you're actually dedicated to this sport for more than 5 years ahead. Like you have a future in the sport, and you know that this year is not going to be an off year, but it's going to be basically, my envisioning that is, if you went back to Road to the Games series where CrossFit still had a media team, and they used to have that, and Christy Aramo, she had filmed an episode with Sam Dancer, and it's called I don't remember what it's called, honestly. And she went to West Side Bar. Yep. And she just hammered all, like, it was hell. She did not, it wasn't like, oh, I'm just gonna go, squat, and no, it was like till failure. Like,
West Side is a dungeon of misery.
Like, she was crying on video.
Yeah.
So that's where this is applicable. And again, she knew she wanted, and then, I mean, honestly, since then, strength wasn't really her main limiter anymore. She gotten a lot stronger. She's not going to win a strength event, but she's not going to get dead last.
Sure.
Right. And again, she knew she had, that was 2017. She retired in like 2022, 2023.
I think 22, somewhere in there.
Yeah, so like she had 5 more years and she's a professional athlete. She's not doing anything else. She's not like,
Right.
hey, I'm just trying to make it to quarterfinal. I mean, great. It's a great goal, but I'm not doing that for you.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Like we used to kind of talk about that, but it's also one of those things where I don't feel like we ever actually did it with anybody.
Not entirely, no.
Like,
Like I
but
tried to do it
yeah.
with myself, honestly, and it didn't work.
See, and like I just can't. I have to scratch the itch. I have to get
Mhm.
out of breath in some way. So I never even tried it for myself. In hindsight, I think I could have biased myself that direction more. Um, but yeah, I think that is something that was like a hot topic
Mhm.
circa like 2018, 2017.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you just need to take a year off and get super strong. And I think now people have been in the space long enough to know like that's probably not going to work in your advantage because you're going to lose so much fitness.
And the other thing that people don't understand is if you're a competitive athlete, let's say there's a field of or a spectrum, whatever you're gonna look at, right? The whole spectrum is going up in strength every year.
Every year.
Every year. So if you were here and you were trying to make it up to here, and that difference you made, now the spectrum is here and
Right.
you're without intensity.
And you're less fit. So
Right.
probably the things that you were good at, you're not as good at anymore.
Exactly. So that's kind of another like issue with that concept. Again, not saying it doesn't work for some people, but it's not a common. You should not be doing that for for all your athletes, or for athletes who just need to get a little bit more stronger. Make their metcons strength biased. Put more volume with weightlifting. Put
Right.
odd objects in their training. Put accessory pieces at the end of it. Push them to failure at the accessory pieces at the end of it.
Yep.
But don't ignore CrossFit / conditioning altogether, or gymnastics for that. All right, you go. No, I did one.
I think for me, one thing that jumps to mind, I think early on, I think I could have utilized odd objects more.
Mhm.
And it's still something I struggle with a little bit. I've gotten a lot better about including sled, yoke, sandbag. I mean, I've always kind of done sandbag work, but carries, farmers carries, yoke, sled pull, sled push. I think I could have implemented that stuff into more conditioning settings than I used to. Just for a little bit more variance to take off some contraction volume on people, train them a little bit differently, give them some more exposure to different things. It was just not something that was top of my mind. And I've always been so focused on making sure people use their time for what's the most important in terms of training movements and modalities, which is not a bad thing, but I think I could have relaxed a little bit on those things and trusted that there was still going to be some transitory training effect in a
When you say
positive
important,
way
you mean relevant to the sport.
relative to the sport or their goals or their weaknesses, right?
Mhm.
I'm just very like mentally, I'm very much one of those because traditionally in the past, I have not had a lot of success with my athletes in particular on trusting the transitory training effect. I have trusted it before and it has fucked me. Like with my athletes. Like I have been like, yeah, it's okay. We're not doing a million deadlifts this week or the next 6 weeks, but we're going to do good mornings, hip extensions and Sorensen holds and improve hinging, contractile endurance and da 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 da. And then deadlifts come up in a workout and they still get fucking clapped. So like I veered away from trusting that and just hammered people with like, oh, you suck at toe to bar? Cool. We're doing 300 toe to bar this week. Get ready. You know what I mean? Like, because I had tried to do it different ways and it didn't work my way. And I think there's a happy middle ground to that, depending on the movement and the modality. But I think I could have loosened up a bit and done a little bit more, like I said, sled, carries, yoke earlier on in my coaching rather than saving those things for games prep phases or competition phases, just to give people a little bit more variance and exposure.
Honestly, I think that is true, and you're gonna hate me for that, but I think High Rocks kind of put the spotlight on that a little bit, to where like the sled is becoming more common, you know.
So fair for me, it's entirely J.R. Howell.
Sure.
And I don't mind giving him his flowers on that. Like
Right.
he uses odd objects so much. And I've been a fan of him ever since he kind of just showed up. And then I went to Crash that year to coach Jamie. And I've always kind of respected his programming and looked at how he has done stuff, and anything he's put out, I look at. And that he was probably more of an influence of me of like, all right, you can chill out a little bit and put in some of these different implements, and you can still make it work favorably for your athletes.
Yeah. I also want to say like this, odd objects are not available in every gym. The distance to move odd objects are not available in every gym. So that's definitely something that might have impacted your first judgment in the early years. Like right now, we're very fortunate to have the space and the resources to use that for multiple people at a time, right?
Yeah, it's hard. It's like the example, I think the easy example is like the 20-foot rope climb.
Yes.
Like I've wrote a couple pieces recently with 20-foot rope climbs.
Yep.
I never thought to do that until we hung 20-foot ropes.
Right.
And like we painted at 15 feet. And I was like,
classes and stuff.
Right, for classes and for qualifiers. And then I like looked up at the rope and was like,
there's more.
There's a lot of rope left. Like, why don't we go higher? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And it's just a little variance to change it up. But yeah,
it's kind of like doing wall balls at 11-foot target for men, right? Like you do that enough, it's the 10-foot target's not going to be a problem anymore. Yeah, and wall balls in general will become less of a, I don't want to do this.
Right. So that's something I think I could have done differently.
That's fair. For me, I think for the longest time I avoided doing like giving paces out for running. Like, hey, just run hard or run easy or run moderate. And like I was afraid to put some numbers so that like people don't get disappointed with themselves. But kind of like the sleds that I've been recognizing lately, like people can run faster than they think they can. People can repeatedly do a sub 130, 400 meter if it's interval runs, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's probably here getting to know your athlete better, because some can't, right? It's just if you had a background or an opportunity where you did do that before. Like recently, I've been giving an athlete of mine who is a female. She's pushing 9 plates on a sled. Like she complained not because the sled is heavy, but she doesn't have room to put her face.
Right. Now, obviously, a sled is indicative of the surface that you're pushing it on, but the point's still
true. But like,
is a shitload.
But like, like if like I never thought I could push that, right? Like, it's just like some stuff that are. You think you know the capacity, or you think you kind of estimate the capacity, but as I said, even with the spectrum, whatever, that also goes up. The physical capacity of people goes up the more they train, and the more age of training they accrue and experience, the less fear they have, the less foreign this feels, and the more challenges they need to be presented with.
Yeah, I think that's something it's a weird thing with the coach athlete dynamic. It's like, hey, coach, that was really, really hard for me. And it's like, yes, you got to break some eggs to make an omelet. Maybe.
We talked about that recently, like this. And like, I don't know if anybody of the listeners have been following my personal social media lately, but like, okay, this is hard. This is meant to be hard. And this is meant to be challenging enough to the point where you think you should not finish it.
Yeah.
Not every piece, but I'm saying like, it's never meant to be like, oh, cool. You know, like.
You have to do hard shit.
You know, when it's supposed to be actually, oh, cool, race day.
Ideally in a competition. Yeah.
Right. When you're going out on the competition floor in WOD Gods, I'm going out on the last workout, toes to bar and devil presses. It was 4 rounds or 3 rounds, 20 toes to bar, 5 devil presses, and then the last round is 30 and 10. I am absolutely fine doing 5 reps at a time, knowing that I am passing everybody else eventually. I have enough time to do that.
Right.
And I've seen the previous heats go to singles, and I am excited.
Right.
And it's not that hard. Right? But
You
like
fall,
if I'm in training,
you fall to the level of your training. You don't rise to the occasion.
Right. In my training, I want to try and shoot for sets of consistent 7s or 8s for the same amount of volume. Right? Nasty workout. That was true. Jeff, my man here, was a great judge at Walk Gods. But yeah, I'm trying to say, like, you don't want to get surprised, or in other more correct terms, get exposed in the competition.
Right.
You want to get exposed in training, and that's a big thing that people kind of try to tiptoe around.
Yeah, it really is. I think too, something I realize, as I've coached, not something I would do differently or anything, but just kind of going off what you said. When you start coaching early on, you kind of reference back like what you're telling your athletes, what you're seeing your athletes do versus kind of your own training history or mindset or progression. And I used to struggle a lot as a coach with early on. People would be like, that was really hard, or like, I don't know if I can do this, or da 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 da. And I think something I wish I could impart upon my athletes to have the ability to do, and probably was the only thing that led to me having any modicum of ability to achieve a decent level of fitness, was I just didn't think at all about how hard it was. It just was the task.
Mm-hmm.
And I just went into it with the presupposition of, this is probably going to suck.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, okay, I'm going to do the best I can. Like, it doesn't matter. It's like, I just didn't, I don't remember many times in a training piece or a really hard workout stopping and being like, I'm really upset that this is so hard. It was just like, I just didn't. And it's, personalities are different for everybody, but if I could impart one thing of my mentality onto all my athletes, it would be that, like, just don't think about it. It just is the task. Just do the task as best you can right now. Yeah. And if you do that every day, you'll get really good. You'll get better. Right.
Something that I wanted to address more with my athletes, I've done, but I haven't like lent on, I guess. And I've been coming to discover it with myself more lately. So I've been training for a half Ironman, right? And it scares, I'm sorry for the language, it scares the shit out of me. The volume scares the shit out of me. The idea that I'm going to be training for 6 hours or racing for 6 hours in a row is intimidating. Okay. Yeah. And for example, the swim is supposed to be 2,000 meters. I have not swam 2,000 meters in a row.
Yeah.
Last time, so just to make it, how coaching yourself sometimes is getting a little difficult and a little like, especially when it's something like this you don't want to do, right? You're not gonna. Yes. So I made Garmin, my watch, just programmed for my swimming. So it's AI based.
Something
right?
simple,
just whatever, yeah. And it gives me 1,600 meters of swimming, and the most I've done recently was 1,000.
What's going on in the chat?
And
here? Hold on.
And all I'm thinking about is make this boring.
Yeah.
Make this, you're afraid of boredom. You're not afraid to because it's hard. You're doing it. You can do it, but you just think it's too much. And you're afraid that it's going to get so repetitive that your mind is going to quit. And I wanted to quit so bad.
Yeah, I mean, that's the hardest part with a lot of endurance work for people.
Right.
It's just
and here's the
monotony.
Thing. 20-minute AMRAPs, merry-go-rounds. Make it boring.
I told 2 of my athletes at the gym when they had the merry-go-round progression this week, I walked up to them right before they started and I said, the only thing I want you to think about in this workout is, do you need to stop or do you want to stop?
Exactly. You will want to stop. I can guarantee that.
But you don't need to.
You do not need to.
Yeah.
I also like those workouts terrify me. With anything that you get above 5 rounds, I'm like,
It's too much.
I don't want to. Yeah,
It's
I don't
too
want
much.
to. And that's the only argument I have, right? Like,
Right.
it's not even that like, oh, it's too heavy or it's too fast or it's just, oh my God, it's too much. 11 rounds. What are you talking about? Right. Like,
Right. 20 rounds, 30 rounds of stuff.
right. And that's just something that like I've used to tell my athletes, make it boring, but I feel like I need to dive deeper into that.
Right.
And make them understand that boring is actually a favorable outcome.
Yeah. So, okay, you went last. Something I would change, or I have changed my opinion on, I think would be
Starts
doing.
with a Z and ends with 2.
We'll get there. I think would be riding weightlifting in a CrossFit style.
Oh yeah.
And this is actually something I'm still working on.
Mm-hmm.
But I come from a very traditional strength and conditioning, Olympic weightlifting background.
When you studied that,
I would say I'm, not to toot my own horn, but I'm pretty fucking good at it, making people strong. But I do think I could have hedged a little bit more, like, hey, let's do this, barbell only workout. Let's do this, 9-7-5 squat snatch at 70, 75, 80%. Rest, 5 minutes, do 3 sets of that. Just because that is kind of how weightlifting presents in the sports side sometimes. And I just shied away from that so much because it's just so not what I was taught and what I learned and what I studied. But it is effective and it is helpful to have stimuluses like that. It's, unique in its own way. And like I said, we see things like heavy Isabel. We see things like,
running Isabel.
We see things like double ladders Isabel. Or DT or, whatever variations of DT. And it's not that I excluded those things entirely. I just think I could have woven that into conditioning or things like that more. What is this workout that Jeff's doing? What do you know what workout 1 of the Everyday Hero games is? It's thrusters and burpees. And Claire said she's going to be waiting for an update. All right.
Hi, Claire.
I'm going to find this workout. We interrupt this message. Everyday Hero games. Service Cup. I knew this was going on, but I would be lying.
Yeah, I saw Dave Castro's.
I would be lying if I said I knew the workouts. Learn more important dates. Register now.
It's 21-15-9-9 thrusters and lateral burpees over the bar. 95-65.
Ow.
Yeah, that's kind of 14.5, 16.5, yeah. Just a little less, but more speed to you.
Godspeed, brother.
Honestly, that's a workout that I would definitely do.
I mean, that's a good piece. The 9-9 is so gross.
Yeah, that after the last 9, you're just gonna be peeling off the ground.
Yeah, like, hey, you're almost done.
But not.
But no, you're not.
Claire, are you doing this too?
Yeah. Sausages? What does this mean?
I don't know.
What does this mean?
I have no idea. No, I mean this kind of workout, it would be. I don't know if I told you that. Probably did. Yep.
Yeah.
But I've done 14.5 and 16.5 so many times that it actually became a fun workout for me.
Honestly, and this is a controversial take, I think, I would rather do that workout than this workout. Than this.
Really? You would do the 21, 18, 15, 12, 9?
Yeah. It's longer. No, I'd rather do the longer like
version.
The open workout.
Slower
because
version.
I can pace it better. I can just like stay in my lane. This is light yourself on fire, and I despise that stimulus.
Yeah.
Oh, sausages is his mating call. So That's ours. All right. I would expect to come up with my affiliate soon, but they don't have it planned. Yeah. That's a great affiliate workout too.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, that's
Hey,
a
CrossFit
great.
Greater Heights.
Yeah, hey, CrossFit Greater Heights. That's a great segue. I'm gonna say my next thing, and
Yeah.
then you can go. I know in hindsight, especially my first year really coaching at a high level, I gave people too much volume.
Fair.
I did.
I did recently text you about that, didn't I?
Yeah.
I told
we
you, hey, because so I'm not gonna name names here, but like,
oh, I still need to look at that, by the way. Crap.
One of my recent athletes, she came from a different programming company, and I started working with her, and I knew that she started with like a high volume level, but she's like, I'm not doing enough, and I don't feel like I'm doing enough. And meanwhile, like, she's doing 5 pieces a day with me still, and that's, again, a lot. That's basically 60% of the volume she used to do.
Yeah.
And I kind of, it's something that, like, and I told her, you need to trust me on this, right? Like, I don't need you to be beat down. You're 21, you can tolerate a lot. I don't need you to tolerate a lot if you can actually push the intensity with intention and work on the stuff that you don't have. Right? So like the next day, she had a skill piece for muscle ups, and it took her 35 minutes to do it. And I was like, I'd rather you do that and focus on it than give you another conditioning piece. Right? Yep. I'd rather you take the time to be intentional about your movement, to figure out movement patterns, develop those neural capacities and all that, being able to learn and teach yourself how to be aware of your body in space, which takes time. Let me rephrase that and say one more time. It takes time to learn something that you did not learn as a kid.
Yeah. I don't know how to break this nicer to people, but if you're over the age of like 22, really 18, 17, 18, and especially if you're in your 30s, your neuroplasticity is garbage. So it's going to take thousands of repetitions.
All right. So
learn something.
Building on that, for our gym, I've been programming a skill piece on a weekly basis. And that skill piece almost hasn't changed yet for the top level, because it takes time, and it's okay to not progress every single week, especially if you're doing it once a week.
Oh, yes. You fire me up. If you don't know what step loading is, then you don't understand the power of doing the same thing a few weeks in a row. And if you don't know what step loading is, that's okay. But I would not consider you well-versed in program design.
Right. But also from an athlete's point.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you. You developed your chest to bar, butterfly chest to bar, right? Did you do it more than once a week?
Yeah.
Did you always get an extra rep? Was it just an easy thing to learn? Okay, cool. Because I had the same experience.
Yeah.
I started CrossFit in 2013. I did not develop my chest to bar butterfly until 2018.
Yeah.
And part of it was by choice. I was against.
So you could have gotten it sooner.
Right. So part of it, I was like, I don't want to learn it. But when I started doing it, it was almost every other day. And I would just try and get sets of 3. And there's nothing else with it. I just want to get a set of 3 on that in order to, get some momentum and learn how to move in a chest to bar. And not every day was a good day. Most days were not great days.
Well, especially if you're pushing capacity on a complex skill or trying to develop capacity in a complex skill, you're inevitably going to have a lot of error and variance in your ability to perform that skill day to day. Right? You're going to have days where your chest to bar feel great, and you're going to have days where your chest to bar suck because you're still trying to get better at them. And guess what? Even when you're good at chest to bar, you're going to have days where they feel better than others. That's completely normal. Right? But yeah, the volume thing is just something like I just know, like in hindsight, I just know, like, all right, we could have calmed down a little bit and just hedged a little bit more toward intensity. So
yeah, I would say on my side, I would have started programming and focusing more on accessories a lot sooner.
Like bodybuilding work?
Like isolated muscle work, isolated resistance work.
Yeah.
From injury prevention perspective, from a strength perspective, from even like just range of motion perspective for some people, and like getting more mobile and
such a high caliber of athlete. No need to butterfly. He floats over the bar.
he doesn't even touch the bar.
This is a good point though. Like in all seriousness, like not like, we talked about this a little bit, I think a podcast or two ago. At a certain point, it's okay to phase out movements.
Yeah. Well, of course, given you're not a games athlete or pursuing that.
Right. Like we're just talking about like general CrossFit.
We're doing this because we want to stay healthy, we want to be competitive, but that's about it.
Right. It's not only okay, but I think it's a natural part of your CrossFit life cycle.
Let me say that now that I can. For quarterfinal people out there.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that. Long live quarterfinals, baby.
Woo! Hey guys, for you who don't know, back. Tristan is now back as an athlete. We've made a comeback, guys.
Yeah, I'm back. I gotta get in shape again.
We gotta qualify.
I have something to do. I'll qualify. Come on, dog. I'd like to qualify.
Jeff's my witness here. You were supposed to be on WOD Gods and you didn't.
Yeah, I know, man. I'm tired, but I've traveled a lot this year, man.
That's fair.
Anyways, what were you saying?
I was talking more about accessories and not necessarily like bodybuilding only. Like I'm not talking about just bicep curls and stuff like that, but like I've been putting a lot of for example, single-legged Romanian deadlift with a band pulling outside, right? Like corrective movements, being able to just practice that outside of an intensity scenario or setup, being able to put in the volume so that you don't need to go to a PT every other week, or you are developing movement patterns that are mistaken because you don't have the muscle development for it. So I'll help you do that outside of an intensity setup. I've seen so many people, for example, that can't use their feet properly because they're not taught to, and therefore they end up injuring their knee or their hip in deadlifts or squats or whatever. So like stuff like that are very important to me now. Even for people who don't necessarily need it, if they're doing a certain sport like endurance sports or stuff like that, I still think it's very important to even include the upper body muscles, because I mean, you don't want to grow up and go like that, but you're fine in your legs, right? Like it's important to just for general health and general muscle health, as well as better circulation. Stuff
I've always
like
been a big fan of bodybuilding accessory or like somewhat corrective exercises. I just think they go such a long way, and it's good for your joints. It's good for injury prevention. It's obviously good for bringing up strength deficits or hypertrophy deficits, certain muscle groups. Like, you feel
and
good.
It's like it's volume without the impact.
Yeah, slow it down. That's I guess one thing I really wish people would do is just slow down your bodybuilding. Like, and slow it down without your coach having to say at a 3030 tempo. Like, just slow down. Like, it doesn't have to be a 3030 tempo, but just slow down.
Yeah.
I SBD thrice a week, and I've not needed a physio since 2019. What is SBD?
I have no idea. I kind of don't want to Google it.
I know SBD, like the brand of knee sleeves, I think.
Oh yeah, it is. It is. What is it? I think it is, because I wrote SBD and it just came out belt and wrist straps and.
Yeah, but I don't know what the act of SBDing is.
I guess just put it on while you're squatting.
I mean, that could be exactly what it means. You went the last one, so I'm up. Ooh,
squat, bench, deadlift.
Hell yeah. What he's getting at here is, if you're strong, you probably need to go to the physio rest. What is another thing I don't believe in? or have changed my mind on. Something I have definitely changed my mind on, which is kind of funny. I used to be under the thought of it's easier to make somebody fit than it is to make them strong. Just as
You
a,
think it's you think
I
it's
think it's
easier
the
to make them
opposite now,
strong?
dog.
Really?
No, I think it depends. I think it depends
I'm still on that.
on the person. I know, like, I think I just I had a personal bias at
Mm.
that point, and I just felt like it was harder to make people stronger, and it was just super easy to make people really, really fit. And I think I've just more leveled out. I think it's equally difficult depending on somebody's physiological predispositions.
Susceptibility.
Yeah. But yeah, if you'd asked me that in like 2018, 2019, I would have said getting strong is the hard part of training, getting fit's the easy part. And I just don't necessarily agree with that anymore.
I know that is still true for me.
Oh, I mean, it's still true for me as well, but I just coach enough people at this point
You know that there is
where,
another world where that's the opposite.
yeah, there's another world named Jacob Marlowe. We're getting there though, baby. We're getting there. Anyways,
We are.
What else? What you got?
I think that's it for me.
I've got another one. I would have used more variance in weightlifting movements,
Like weightlifting accessories.
Weightlifting, or even like squat, bench, deadlift variations.
Mm.
Earlier on, I think obviously I came up with that conjugate style of weightlifting that I really like during in season and like open prep or semis prep. Just things like that. I think I could have leaned into sooner in my coaching to give a little bit more variance. And also with the Olympic lifts, not that I've ever not done a lot of variance in Olympic lifts in terms of like complexes or pulls or blocks or whatever, but I think, yeah, more so for the base lifts like banded work, speed work, reverse bands, things like that. I think I could have dabbled in sooner because I think they do have a really good time and place.
That's fair.
For certain athletes or certain times of the year, things.
I'll say I'm a big fan of banded squats. It's just so hard to set up for the majority of it.
Yeah. The application of a strength bias is harder in CrossFit, especially open. Yes. Yes, sir. Especially since the open is now just high rocks minus the running.
So. Can we start a petition here that Dave Castro lets us program the next open?
I mean, only if Bay says he'll sign it, and Jeff, and Claire. Okay. If they're all three here and they all three say they'll sign it, then I will start one. Okay. And those will probably be the only signatures we get. I would be stoked to program an open. That would be super fun.
I don't know why, but lately I've been super excited to just get an opportunity to program a competition.
Yeah. Programming a competition is fun.
I feel like there's a calling for me to just program a test. I
have been writing Jacob's crash prep, and because I've been to crash and what do you say? It's the 13 open. I've been waiting for bench press to dog. You and me both. If that happens, I will be so happy. But it will not happen.
Not really.
So since I've been to crash and been in the gym, seen how he lays it out, as I've been writing some of his pieces, I'm like thinking about how he might flow a workout, and it kind of made me feel like I was programming for a competition, even though it's not my competition.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. What's something else? It's okay to just go home.
Yeah.
That was something I really struggled with athletes early on because of my own, like, I would never do that when I was training. It was like, if it was on the spreadsheet, it got done.
Fight or die.
it didn't matter. And that was just my, personal background and
upbringing.
and I just have learned this. If we're not going to get what we need, the way I think about it now is like, if we're not going to get what we need out of this piece, what's something else that the athlete feels capable of doing that day that will give us something else that we're searching for in training? And if those two things are not happening, go home.
You know why? Because the intention is lost.
Right. Just go home and recover. Yeah. Just go home.
At this point, it's basically like getting milk from the grocery store, even though you know you're not going to use it this week.
Yeah, it's just wasted money.
You're going to throw it away.
You're just going to throw it away, exactly. And you're throwing it away at the cost of beating up your joints more,
right?
Spending more calories. Then you're also going to be mentally all, oh my god, I suck at CrossFit, because you
will affect the next
didn't
day,
do good,
next week.
Then, yeah, exactly. Depending on the athlete, then it's like you got to get them out of that funk the next day or the next, like you said, the next week. It's just better. It's just go home.
For some reason, I feel like if any of our athletes are watching right now, they're going to think that we're talking about them, all of them.
We probably are talking about all of you at some point in time. And there is also value in sometimes doing your damn job.
Yeah, so there's a difference between, oh, I don't want to do this versus like, no, I can't meet the goal behind this workout.
Right.
Not because I don't think I can, it's because my body's stopping me from it.
Exactly like Hopper said, Jeff. Yes.
It's just the word not feeling is a little tricky here.
Right.
Right? Because like not feeling like, I don't feel like this, that's not it.
Right.
Right? That's not what Hopper meant. It's if, for example, I'm getting dizzy doing thrusters and I'm just going to, do them very, very slowly. Meanwhile, it's a 21:59. Right. Or like my knees really hurt. Like yesterday is a great example for me. My knee was really hurting on squats. I did 2 sets under the percentage. It was the strength piece. I was like, there's no point in me just hurting my knee for no added benefit. I'm just not going to do this. Right. But I was able to do the other workout, right? Because it didn't have any knee flexion or anything like that. So like, it's just like, there's a difference between I'm not feeling like doing it, or I do not believe I will push this with the intention that it was written for.
Exactly.
Right. And that's the difference. We're not inviting people to pick and choose. Right.
Right.
We're inviting people to understand and listen to their bodies. And that's different.
And I mean, you have to know yourself. You have to learn yourself, right, as an athlete. And it's almost one of those things where if you haven't tried, you have to mess it up to know the difference. Right. That's like, I mean, it almost kind of goes to the concept and subject of overtraining.
Yeah.
Most human beings have never trained hard enough to overtrain. I'm sorry. You just have.
I would say to overtrain as in get to the point where it's adrenal fatigue, but they definitely could overtrain their joints.
Yeah, you could have done too much volume for a certain muscle group. You could have done a couple of those things. You could have progressed your volume too quickly. You could be a little under recovered, but like most human beings, even the ones trying to be competitive, have never trained to the point where like, if you're a male, you don't wake up with a morning wood. If like you're a female, you look at a guy who would be attractive and you're like repulsed. Like there's levels to overtraining people, and most people have never ever experienced the highest level, like the actual systemic level of overtraining. And that's okay, because most people don't need to do that. But it's one of those things where if you have actually overtrained, you know what overtraining is. It's kind of the same thing as if you know the stimulus of a workout and you know what the goal is. If you have to try to do it and realize, okay, when I feel like this, I can't. Yeah. To know, right? What'd Jeff say? That's what I meant when I said you can't push. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. Oh, okay. All right, you're up, because I've done like 3 at this point.
I would just say like I think for me, would
over 50. My bad.
I think the last thing, it's kind of not for everybody, but like being okay programming things that are outside of the gym. So when it comes to like a swim, or the thing that actually valued more lately was like pulling a sled for a mile,
You
right?
got on a
Just
tear with that.
I know I actually think I'm gonna go back to it because one, it builds such mental capacity, but also like I think it helps with lower body strength and prevention of injury. At least it
Strength,
works for me.
resilience. Yeah.
Yeah, resilience, like running. That's basically like weighted when people go on ruck runs or
Same
ruck
idea.
walks, to kind of get around. Hey, I don't want to spend like 3 hours running to get
Mhm.
the same impact. So kind of similar to that. Um, and I feel like doing stuff like that, especially like we're in Houston, right? There's really not much to do outdoors, but like, hey, go on a hike fast, go on a hike slow, go on a hike weighted, you know?
Right.
So just stuff like that. And again, it's not for everybody, but I think that there's definitely a value into programming stuff like that. And same thing goes to like if programming, swimming, running, anything that's outdoors, not only programming them, but programming them in different modalities.
Mhm.
So like one day, hey, we're gonna do 100-meter, it repeats on swimming. The next day, hey, we're gonna go 50-meter sprints with a longer recovery, and then the next day we'll do 1,000-meter for time. Like just the problem with those outside slash non CrossFit directly related pieces are you're not doing them as often, so it's hard to even vary the stimuli and make them to the point where they make a cycle.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah. That
but
makes sense.
I would for those who are utilizing them, I would definitely push them more often, especially in my early years. I don't think I programmed swimming for anybody.
Right. Yeah. Swimming, bike ride,
Yeah,
long hike.
but like that also kind of ties into the definition of CrossFit, the early definition of CrossFit, of learning
Yes.
new sports and practicing them often.
I think one. Oh, what was it? I had it and then I lost it. Son of a bitch. It was a decent one too. This is a little bit more of like a tactical one that nobody's probably going to care about unless they are like actually programming nerds. I would have biased echo bike conditioning towards power a lot more early on. I think early on I had people train the echo bike, and I trained the echo bike a lot in my own time when I was competing, even prior to that. Like any other single modality stimulus, right? You have your anaerobic, you have your aerobic power, VO2 max, you have your aerobic threshold, then you have your O2 capacity. And I just think it's way better to hedge the echo bike like anaerobic times 2, VO2 max times 2, and that's it. Like almost any setting that the echo bike has ever been programmed in a qualifier, in a competition, at a semifinal level, it's about how much power can you put on that machine. Even the year that we were in Pasadena with Kelly and Hattie and Madison and the gang, like that first year as a indie coach for me, they had what was it, like it was like 3K.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that long on the bike,
Right.
and then you were getting off of it and you were going into the sled work. So it was like, again, you could it was better to be a little more powerful in that sense. And then you had to be aerobic enough on the run and the ski, yes. But I just think I misappropriately, or I didn't misappropriately because people still got fitter, but I could have hedged toward more power development on the Echo bike early on. And it would have translated to more competitive success for people.
Yeah.
So that would probably be another one. I feel like I could like rummage through my brain, come up with tons of shit for things that I do differently now or I don't believe in, but we're coming up on an hour, so I think we can shut it down there. We do have 4 people watching, so if anybody has a question, y'all
Give
can drop
you
it in the
a couple
comments.
minutes Q&A.
Yeah, if you guys have questions, But yeah, I mean, you live and you learn, right? Like and also one thing I was just gonna say is the game changes too.
Yeah.
Right? Like we've been doing this for 4 years, 5 years now. So things are not the same as they were when we started this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Ascend has been there for almost 4 years, but we've also coached different levels athletes since
Oh yeah.
2015. So
Yeah,
like there's a shift in who we are dealing with. There's a shift of who we're coaching, and that shift will continue to go back and forth, right? Because we're not just out there to coach your games level, semifinal level. Sure, we love coaching them, but we also care about people who, hey, I want to lose a couple of weights in my garage gym and I want to feel better.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. And there's learning curves with those things too, right? Like,
and that's usually the underspoken ones.
Sure.
Like, because it doesn't make a great like marketing promotion for like any competitive sport. So they're like, but like making sure that people who are training for health are also training the right way is very important. And making sure that people who are training for weight loss are not, hurting themselves, and how to appropriate that and how to go about it in the right way in different ways.
Right.
So
thank you for hanging out with us, Mr. Birchfield. I appreciate you. All right. Well, with that, we will see you guys next time. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Appreciate you all watching. Do the YouTube things, like, subscribe, share, follow us on Instagram.
I heard there's a t-shirt design coming soon.
There is a t-shirt design. I actually need to email the t-shirt guy after I turn this podcast off because he got back to me.
We're looking at a fun, possibly get together for everybody on the 25th of October.
Yeah, a little training weekend, 25th of October at CrossFit.
More details to come in soon.
Yeah, I think we're going to make a little Instagram story about that tomorrow. We'll start putting out more information about that. But if you're in the South here in Tejas,
or you're in the North and you just want to come spend a weekend in Houston.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you just want to come hang out and you got some flight miles, come on.
If you don't know, and I emphasize, if you don't know, Houston has such great weather. I couldn't even lie. My self-conscious wouldn't stop it.
Yeah, he's trying to lie. Houston's weather is the birds. It's terrible.
Makes it better.
Does it? Or does it make you less fit because you can't fucking do anything without overheating for 5 months of the year?
All right. Well, wear pants. Then it would make it better.
No, don't wear pants. Mahmoud wears pants. All right.